episode of Public Speaking in Business. I'm your host, Dr. Samantha DeLoache, the modeling pharmacist and your professional speaker coach. And I have been having an amazing time doing these interviews with such great entrepreneurs, businessmen, and women. And it's just every episode gets better and better. And I like to say, even though I'm asking the same questions, is still each experience totally different because each guest is given their perspective, their point of view of how public speaking has helped the business or how communication in general has been such a beneficial factor for how they're able to conduct their business and just how they're able to interact and connect with one another. And that's what was the whole purpose of me doing this platform, if you will, is that I want everyone to know that communication is not something that you're necessarily born with. We're taught how to communicate, and it's a skill that you can sharpen, that you can get better at. No public speaker comes out with a microphone in their hand, ready to talk, ready to go. They have to learn, they have to sharpen those skills, just like riding a bike, just like, cooking. Anything that you want to get better at, you got to practice. And so I love having these conversations because one is candid. We're being transparent. We're sharing our own, flaws, our own successes, because nothing is perfect. None of us are perfect. So we have our good moments and we have our not so good moments. But what I've learned is that we can learn from those moments that weren't the best, and we can learn from each other. So that means I don't have to make all the mistakes. You don't have to make all the mistakes. Linda doesn't have to make all the mistakes. We are able to learn from each other, share tips and tools to help us get better. And as you know, I've been saying it all this week and last week, the Model Speakers Academy officially launched this month in September. I'm so excited. And we're currently open for enrollment. So we're looking for people to sign up who want to get better at public speaking. Maybe you hate it. Maybe you're shy. Maybe you don't know where you fit in this space. Maybe you want to be able to promote your brand, your business, and you don't know how to share your story. Maybe you want to get a raise at your job. You want to get that promotion, but you don't know how to articulate your skill set to your boss to show your value. That's what this program is for. It's for anyone, regardless of where you are on your journey. You can get some skills and some tips to increase and get better so that you can vocalize your message, that you can articulate your thoughts. That way you can share your value and you can be seen as a thought leader, as an expert in your area. Because I like to say, if you're a speaker, you're a leader. If you have the microphone and you're talking and you're sharing your message, then yes, you're the leader. All eyes are on you. And what you want to do is make sure that your words have impact. You don't want to just be talking just to talk. You want, when you talk, people to stop and listen because they know you have something very important to share. And so that's what the Model Speaker Academy helps you with. And our model is motivate, organize, deliver, engage, and lead. So that's what everyone walks away through or with after this 8-week program. So definitely, I want you to sign up. The free webinar is tomorrow, 1 o'clock p.m. this time tomorrow, Eastern Standard Time. Your lunchtime chat tomorrow will be you get to find out about all the things with Model Speakers Academy. So sign up or refer a friend or someone you may know, a colleague who could benefit from this information. And I have some great things also coming up with the Everyday Expert. That's right. We have a panel coming, a virtual summit in October, the 19th, 20th, where if you have something to share, you're an expert in something because we all are experts in something. You can come on for 15 minutes and talk and share about your expertise. And so, yes, there is a small investment, but you would get an actual recording after your talk. You get a clip of it, or you can share on your platforms and you'll have a flyer to promote. So, yes, this is an opportunity to share your expertise at the Everyday Expert Virtual Summit that's happening in October. So, it's on my page now. So, that's coming up. And then also next year, I'm having an international speakers retreat in Bali, Indonesia. Yes, an international speakers retreat next year in October. So, as you can see, the Octobers around here are very, very hype and important. So, yes, October 2025. And you can sign up right now for that as well. Payment plans are available. So if you want to be known as an international speaker, that's coming up. You'll have 3 days of workshops and then actually a day to present your speech, your message is going to be recorded. And then again, you'll have that footage to share of you being an international speaker in Bali, Indonesia. So that's something else that I'm very, very excited about. So as you can see, the Model Speakers Academy has great events coming up, and I want you to be a part of it. So if you know someone who would be a great fit for the Everyday Expert Panel virtual summit that's coming up in October 2024, or who wants to be an international speaker in Bali, Indonesia, October 2025, then you need to sign up or definitely try to come and be a part of the webinar I'm going to have tomorrow. But enough about that. You're here to hear about Linda Gee-Hesketh. She's here to come talk to us. She's in Canada, and I want her to tell us all the things with wellness and everything she has going on to inspire and show her journey here with us today. So welcome, Linda. So we're grateful to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Samantha. It's such a privilege to meet with your audience. And I love what you just said about communication, because it is such a two-way street. And when we think about communication, sometimes we think about speaking and listening, when really, I think it's also speaking and making sure that we're understood. It's our responsibility to make sure that we're understood in the way that our message was intended. So what you're offering is so important. It has so much value in how we evolve as people, as parents, as business people. Yes, absolutely. I applaud your contributions to the industry, if we can call it that, to life.
Yeah, right.
To life skills.
Exactly. It's a life skill for sure. So tell us about your business and what you have going on.
Well, I started off with a passion in both physics and biology, and I used it for health and fitness. And I was a solopreneur, so I was an entrepreneur, self-employed. And then I wanted to make the leap to being a business owner, which is very different from being self-employed. So being an entrepreneur in the health and wellness space, um, I think of myself as a wellness and fitness concierge. So I now have a team of people who offer the physical side, so personal fitness trainers, nutrition, consultants, specialists for different things like running, golf, different sports, yoga. But I also have uh, like not just the stressor side, which we adapt to, but the recovery side. So we offer healing that removes ancestral beliefs from the DNA. We have epigenetics that turns different genes on and off. We have uh, trauma tremor release, which is an amazing modality for getting our issues out of our tissues, I guess you could say. Meditation, yoga, breath work. And so it's a full package. We bring it together. And I bring traditional Chinese medicine and Ayurvedic medicine into it as well. So it's not just a North American allopathic model framework.
Wow, that sounds excellent. I love that you said it. It's a whole package.
Yeah.
Wow. And what's the
Yeah.
name
And we're able to do it. Sorry?
what's the name of it? Your business?
Bamboo coaches.
Bamboo coaches.
So the whole idea is that you can plant bamboo and it doesn't sprout for months and months and months. And then you'll see a little sprout and then it can grow 3 feet in a day. So everybody in their own timing, like when the timing is right. That's the whole idea.
Wow, I love that. That's awesome. Yes. And I love that you are working like the body, the spirit, like the whole person.
Yeah, we are we function as a whole, even though we can be very task oriented and aim for separation and keep things independent. It doesn't work that way.
Right. It's all connected.
Yeah. 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 I love that you said that instead of me saying that, because I think my people hear that too often. So yes, I think they all play on each other. And if we want to reach high performance, if we want to reach an elite level, if we want to reach high quality of life, it's not addressing one area and then leaving the rest behind. Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that. So let me go ahead into the questions. Why do you believe public speaking is such a critical skill for business professionals today?
Ah, this is such a good question. I can remember when I first started, um, I watched an associate of mine give a talk about something I was very well versed in. And I thought, oh my gosh, she's brilliant. Instead of saying this 50 times individually, she said it one time and she reached 50 people. And the efficiency part of me, my brain just clicked. And I thought, that's what I want to do. And then I got in front of a group and I was like, oh, oh.
Maybe not, right?
It seemed like a good idea. But yeah, definitely be able to reach more people, repurpose your work. You never know. Like now that we have the internet, you never know when people are listening.
Right.
And even if I say something that might seem like beginner level for how I've evolved, somebody might find that recording and it's a perfect match for their level
Right.
on that day. And the thing about speaking, more powerful than the written word, I think, is that you can have inflection and tone, and there's vibrational resonance. And if we think about the physics of sound, vibration, frequency, that has a subconscious connection. So sometimes people want to hear more, and it's not because you said something profound. It's because the way you said it resonates and they want to learn more from you.
Mm.
So that impacts people. That's why I like to listen to an audiobook read by the author because the author really knows how they meant those words to come across as opposed to a narrator or a performer because now we can get multiple voices reading a book.
Right, right, right. That's so true.
Yeah, and I also think that as women,
Mhm.
this is a big, heartfelt point for me to develop the skill and the confidence to speak our truth. Like
Mm.
that precedes being heard. Like the act of even speaking when ancestrally, historically, we haven't had the right to speak or it hasn't felt safe to speak.
Right.
Like this whole center of our body, like whether we call it a chakra center or like if we think about the thyroid,
Mhm.
like just feeling safe to stumble through our words, express our thoughts, emotions,
Mhm.
um, and ramble through, even to verbally process something, I think is invaluable.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I also think that public speaking or speaking specifically in front of a group or a team or a school,
Mhm.
um, when you are able to interact with an audience, you can see what resonates. Like which example resonated, which story resonated, at which point did they have their aha moment? At what
Mhm.
point did you say too much and it was interesting to you, but you could see their eyes glaze over?
Mhm.
Like it
That's right.
was too deep of a dive. Like just stay on the contours of the topic for that point. So I think we develop our expertise that way.
Mhm.
Like the more often we tell a story, the better we tell it. The
Right.
more easily we tell it, the more succinctly we're able to deliver a message. Yeah.
Wow. Well, that was so beautifully said. I love the different points you brought up. But definitely I love that you said it. You can reach more people. Our messages, can be one on one, but it can be, one to 100, one to 1,000, and with social media, like you said, we don't know who's going to see it or when they can replay it because this is now a recorded message. so people can listen to it at any given moment and they can share it with someone. So it's so important to share, our message, for especially for business owners. You're your biggest, mouthpiece, your biggest cheerleader. So you want to be
Yes.
able to share. And then I love the emphasis you brought about women. Like historically, we weren't able to share our voices and to have an opinion, to have our thoughts even counted. And so
No,
now, that we have this freedom, then we need to fully accept it and walk in bravely in it and be willing to share our voices and share our messages, because there's still even current, living situations for women across the world who still don't have that freedom to be able to share that
absolutely.
voice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we can't take it
And
for
it's also like, as much as that's for us individually,
granted.
it's for our children who are watching
Oh yes.
and modeling. Now that we have adult children,
Mhm.
so I guess we call them adults as
Yeah,
opposed
yeah.
to adult children. And I watch them raising their children.
Hmm.
I realize that the thing that's getting passed down is what I modeled, what they saw. It's not what I said.
Very true.
Darn.
Right.
Darn it. Like, I said some profound things during my parenting journey. It's like, didn't you grab onto that? Oh, that's what you grabbed onto. Cool.
That's right. Like the saying says, do as I say, not as I do. But the fact of the matter is, actions always speak louder than words. So,
Always. Yes.
so we have to be very
Yeah.
intentional with what we're saying, but also make sure that we're mirroring what we talk about. I tell you to eat your vegetables, well, then I need to be eating my vegetables. If I tell you to go to bed by a certain time, then I should be going to bed. If I'm telling you to drink more water, then you should see me with water. So yeah, that makes also, I think, the credibility as a business person, because there are a lot of people, especially with this social media age, everybody can be an expert, but not everybody is able to walk the walk. We're talking it, but is the walk backing up? And so I think that makes it hard for people who are legitimate in their businesses, because there's so many people parading around with the expertise. And so people don't know who to trust. And so that makes it even harder as business owners to be able to say, hey, I am the real deal. I am, the one who can promise and deliver what I'm promising. And so that's a challenge.
Yes. In the information age, people don't need more data.
No.
They need mentorship from someone who embodies what they're looking for.
Absolutely. I had someone say one time, the world doesn't need more information, they need inspiration. So you have all the information you need, now you
Ah,
need to put it to use. And really, we have everything we need inside of us. We just need to have that push, that encouragement, that accountability to get to that other side. And so that's what a lot of times coaches do. That's what the Model Speakers Academy does. That's what Bamboo is offering. You already have it inside you, but you just need the proper, encouragement, the proper tools to pull it out.
yes, the guidance, the
The guy.
guidelines. Yes,
Exactly.
beautiful.
Absolutely. Yeah. So my second question is, can you share a personal experience where effective public speaking significantly impacted your career or business?
This is I could think of so many, but I'll tell this one particular. I had a 2-year lunch and learn contract. It was a paid contract at a corporation. And then they had a celebration for their referring customers.
Hmm.
So it was a gratitude celebration, customer appreciation evening. And they asked if I would speak for free, which
Mm.
I don't usually do at this point in my career. But I thought, we've built a lot of goodwill over the years. I'm happy to address this. And because the whole idea is to be in service and to reach more people and to impact them. And I was speaking about sleep and stress in the workplace. And this led to someone in the audience referring me to their spouse who uh, is a first responder. And it led to an opportunity to work with um, police, military. It really blossomed
Wow.
into an industry, if I can call it that, like an
Mhm.
area um, that I wouldn't normally have my services offered. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it was a beautiful, beautiful evolution, how it just kind of
Mhm.
organically rippled out. So you just never know, never know.
Wow.
Say yes.
I'm glad you brought that up. Like you said, say yes. I think oftentimes, I think the phrase says, you miss the forest for the trees. So you miss the big picture because you're looking at small things instead of looking at what could happen. And so you could have been like, oh, well, I don't want to speak if it's not paid. But because you're willing, because of the relationship already established,
Established,
yeah,
yes.
you spoke, and then someone heard the message, and then their, profession and where they were, you were able to go into a whole nother area that you're not normally, like you said, servicing. So if you would have not been willing to do that opportunity, you could have missed out on the future opportunities that could have
Mhm.
stemmed or that did stem from that one speaking engagement. So, like you said, yeah, we never know what can happen. So at any opportunity that we're able to speak or given the chance to speak or share our message, then sometimes we have to look at the bigger picture and say, yes, I'll do it. I don't normally do this, but yeah, let me be willing to try it out because we never know what could develop from our willingness to say yes. So yeah.
Yes, sometimes our boundaries or our rules kind of restrict us, and we can learn from being more relaxed. Yeah, and just kind of getting from a neutral position
Hmm.
and then making the decision as opposed to, like, a first reaction might be, "Oh, this is a business and I normally get paid, and how would I should I feel insulted that you asked me?" Like, or just thinking, "Okay, get to a neutral position emotionally, energetically, and just think, wait, I'm here to serve others and impact more people. If this is 20 minutes, I'm good."
Right. I love that. Serve others,
Yeah.
impact others, share my message. Because that to me is a bigger question. What is your why? Why did you get started?
Yes.
Is everything about money? And I get it. We need financial resources to live and thrive. So I'm by all means understand that. But yeah, what's the bigger picture? Why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you in business? Why, are we in the positions we're in? If ultimately we want to help people and we want to impact change, then we have to be able to navigate, how to respond. Like you said, look at it from an objective space, a neutral place, and you know, is this going to hurt me? Is this going to really take away from my schedule? Is it stopping me from doing other things? Like you said, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and then what kind of impact could that have later on? So, wow,
Yeah. The universe operates in mysterious ways, and I always think there are no coincidences.
absolutely.
And yeah, yeah.
I love that. So, yeah, my third question is, what are some common public speaking challenges that business professionals face, and how can they overcome them?
You know, this is a good question. I think that everybody speaks with an accent. Like, even though you and I speak English to each other,
Yeah,
we have a slightly, like, we're from very different parts of the continent. I'm from the West,
yeah.
and you're currently at the East, and everyone has an accent. So if I'm speaking, I'm reminded to speak a little more slowly in the first 2 minutes until people kind of catch on to the cadence and the rhythm of how I enunciate, or which vowels I'll drop off, or which consonants I won't touch on. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, and I also think, well, maybe multiple generations uh, have grown up with perfectionism being a safe business model. Like, we want polished. If I am looking good, then my message will be received better, if I'm looking professional, if I use a very formal language. And that whole perfectionism is no longer up to date. It's now authentic, which is why people love all the reels and the videos on social media because they're real.
Yep.
Well, a lot of them are staged, but they're not perfect. Like they're
Right.
not perfectionism polished and
Yes.
like I've done 10 takes to get it right.
Right.
And so letting people experience our sense of humor and getting relaxed and just get grounded, I think being able to be ourselves is actually a superpower, replacing perfectionism or polished formality being a superpower. I also think that many people are invited to speak because they're experts in
Mhm.
an area. And so they get very task oriented and they want to share a lot of information. And
Mhm.
instead of info dumping, remember that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So
Right.
interacting with the audience, asking them a few questions, knowing them, knowing what questions they had when they heard that you were coming for the topic. It just takes a few minutes, but it gets that energetic dynamic
Mhm.
established, which can really carry a lot of goodwill. Um, I think the other thing is we could all benefit from a voice coach.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So I love that you have your program, your public speaking, uh, and that you're tying it in with business. Yeah. Yeah, and there are voice coaches that come from, like, acting and drama backgrounds, from singing backgrounds,
Mhm.
how we use our body and our musculature and, our breath, like, coming out of our diaphragm and our chest instead of from our mask. Like, we all know women who talk like this, and, like, it might have been okay when you were 11 or 12 or maybe not, but not when you're in a professional setting and you
Right.
still talk as if you're talking to your dog.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
I feel
And I
totally
asked my voice coach, "Why do they sound like that?" Or why like, sometimes I'm on my phone and I can tell someone's a little older because their voice is a little thready. Like, does that have to happen to everyone? And my voice coach said, "No, absolutely not, but we hold trauma in our tissues,
mhm.
and so then we don't use those muscles and those tissues and those postural elements of our body to project our voice." So, yes, everybody needs a voice coach.
Wow, thank you. You gave some really, really good tips. I love that you said all of us have an accent, and that's the truth. We all
Yes.
are coming from different areas, and so that was a great tip just to talk slower in the first few minutes so people can adjust your voice. So I love that. And then also, getting a coach, why not? We all can learn some tips on, like you said, posture, how we talk, how we speak. And it's funny, me being in healthcare, I've been around nurses who talk like, I don't say like a
Oh,
baby, but it's that little, like a chirp voice. And then when you can tell when they're, I guess, relaxed, they're not doing it anymore, but it's almost like they feel like they're performing, like they have to talk at this higher kind of, I don't want to say squeaky, but it's just, I can
it's
tell,
pitchy.
yeah, very
Yeah.
pitchy, and it's like it's not natural, and it's like it's okay to just say good morning. You can still have a pleasant, sweet voice, if you will, without it having to sound like you said very pitchy. So some things I don't think people are aware of that they do because you're so
Oh,
used to doing it.
yeah,
So you're doing it
yeah.
subconsciously. But if you had a coach or someone who could listen to you, who could help direct you and tell you that, hey, say it again, like say it again, practice and kind of help you get through those moments until you're not doing that, and then that becomes second nature instead of the habit or that safety net or whatever, that like you said, that trauma response. Now that you feel like you
Yeah.
have to speak this way, but you don't have to, you can break away from that.
Yeah,
So,
it's like the original code switching, right?
absolutely, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, exactly, code switching. I don't want to seem threatening. I don't want to seem, unladylike, or I don't want to, whatever the rationale is. But yes,
Yeah,
so let me
good girl.
switch.
Yeah,
Thank you. I want to be a good girl. So let me have this sweet, girly voice. But it's like, no, you can still stand in your power and still talk with confidence and not have to, change your voice, or like you said, code switch.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and you can be taken more seriously. You can have more authority just
Mhm.
by changing your tone. I
Absolutely.
know a lot of women, uh, but women and men in Canada speak with a little inflection at the end of their sentence, and
Mhm.
it sounds like we're asking a question, but it to everybody else in the world, it sounds very weird, you know?
Right, right. Yeah, and we all pick up things, from,
Yes,
just where we live, our environment,
regionally, yes.
yeah, regionally, and what we hear others use. And so we just have to be more aware of it, especially when we're wanting to be taken seriously and we're dealing with a diverse, population. So we want to be able to reach everyone, and we don't want people to discredit our message based on how we sound, or may not take us seriously based off of, how we sound or how we project. So it's just certain things to be aware of. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. And so my last question is, what is one essential tip that you would give to someone looking to improve their public speaking skills?
I love this question. It would be to breathe.
Wow, breathe.
Yeah, learn your breath work. Learn how to strengthen your diaphragm, increase the range of motion, have the rib cage expand into your lower back. It changes your pitch, your tone, your quality, your vibration, and it will deliver your message differently. It will help you manage your stress if you're nervous. It will just ground you. It
Wow.
will regulate your nervous system. It's a life skill, but it will be especially essential when you're getting ready to be heard.
Wow, I love that. And no one has ever said that. I think this is almost like my 40th conversation, and you're the first person to mention it. And it seems so simple, but it's so important to just breathe. A lot of times when we're nervous, we're holding our breath, or we're taking deep breaths, or, we're like shallow breathing, and it's like,
Yes.
I'm like panicking. But take that deep breath, just exhale, because sometimes our shoulders are tight. And when we exhale, our shoulders relax. Like you said, it calms our pulse down. It just makes us feel, like you said, more centered, more relaxed. And it's like, it's okay. Just breathe. And that's a master lesson almost. We can use that for anything. When really when things are stressful, or when you have so much craziness going on, take a moment and breathe. Catch your breath. Just breathe. I love that. That's beautiful right there. So if you all didn't get anything else, this last statement was powerful in and of itself. Just breathe. When you feel like life is getting out of control, just breathe. Take your next breath.
Yes.
It's gonna be all right. I love that. Wow. Thank you so much for coming today, Linda. And yeah, I return it back to you. You gave such a very just peaceful presentation, just answering the questions,
Oh,
sharing how, public speaking has helped your business, and just how you were able to share with confidence. And wow, I absolutely love it. So how can we stay in contact with you? How can the viewers follow you? Do you have anything going on? Your website, any information you can share right now?
oh, thank you for that opportunity. My website is my name, so www.glendagehesketh.com, no hyphen in the website. Um, I'd like to offer your audience, Dr. Samantha, a way, it's a strategy sheet about how to reclaim the day when we've had a poor sleep.
Mm,
So many people suffer because they're on a malfunctioning sleep cycle,
mhm.
whether it's episodic or chronic, or different phases of life, like if new mothers, new fathers,
Yeah.
or life events,
Mhm.
stress. Um, So yes, I'll send a link for that. I have a voice coaching program. I'd love to give you a code to get 50% off for your listeners.
Wow,
Yeah,
that'd be good.
yeah. And then something that we have going on right now is, well, two things. We have weight training for women. It's an 8-week intensive course for people to learn how to strengthen and a number of strategies. And then we also have uh, a menopause mastery bundle
Okay.
so that people who are 40 plus, 50
Mhm.
plus, 60 plus can kind of get that second talk. You know, we get that first talk when we know puberty's on the horizon, but we
Mhm.
don't normally get the second talk and connect all the dots between mood. Like we just think it's hot flashes and
Mhm.
irregular menstrual periods, but it's like, okay, maybe your tinnitus and your frozen shoulder and um your dizzy spells are
Mhm.
kind of like connected. It's not just your ears and your
Mhm.
migraines and achy joints. It's like, no, let
Wow. Well, that sounds good. Well, you have given us so much today. I'm so, so excited. And I'm so glad you were able to share all of your information. So, everyone, yes, if you're watching this message as a replay, put hashtag replay. But definitely, I'm going to attach all of the links so that you can get this information and so that you can become more centered and just like you eloquently said, that, we're like bamboos. We all grow at different rates and we all have different, paths we have to take to get to where we need to go, but we don't have to
yes,
go
yes,
alone. We can have somebody to come alongside us. And that's what coaches and programs like Linda mentioned and my Model Speakers Academy. The thing is, we know you can get it done, but we want to help you get it done quicker. We don't want you to take years to get something done, accomplished, but you can get it done in weeks or months. So allow someone who's been down this path, who's studied, who's got the information to make it easier for you. And so, don't refuse to help, but be willing and have an open mind to learn something new, something different that could help you in your journey. Women, you may be experiencing menopause. This would be great for you. Or people who have trouble sleeping, because I know sometimes my sleep isn't the best. So this is all great information that can really, really help you. And again, if you need help with speaking, how to handle yourself publicly, how to articulate your thoughts, or even how to write your own story, have your own message to share. Because we all have a message. We all have a story. All of our experiences
yes,
have helped us to get to where we are today. And I don't believe anything that happened, like you said, there's no mistakes. Everything happens for a reason. We may not like it, but we can find a lesson in it. And a lot of times, what we experience is not for ourselves, but it's for someone else. So let us help you in your journey so that you can share your message to others, so that you can be encouraging that, hey, I went through this and look where I am today. And that's what everybody wants. They want a success story, they want to know how you overcame. And so that's what you can learn today. So thank you so much again, Linda, for being here.
thank
I
you.
love it. I'm going to share your messages, your pages, and everything. And so, everyone, I'm so glad you were here. Remember, tomorrow, our webinar or my webinar, the Model Speakers Academy, is happening tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, sign up.